What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Jedi Fallen Order. So Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is the latest Star Wars video game. I was so excited leading up to this. If you've been watching this channel for a while, back in April when I went to Star Wars Celebration, I was at the panel for this game when they first showed the first cinematic trailer of what the story would look like. They didn't have anything really gameplay to show at that point, but they showed us the cinematics and they just kind of talked about it. They were giving us all kinds of information, and I had such a great time at that panel. I was so excited along with all of the fans that were in there. And after finally being able to get my hands on it and all the other marketing and gameplay that released between then and now, I am so happy to say that this game was absolutely incredible. I bought the deluxe edition. I wanted the full experience, though I don't think everything that you get in the deluxe edition is necessarily worth the price. I was really happy to have given them my money just so I could support a product like this, because this game for me has to be one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars game we've ever gotten. Now of course that's going to really be up to your personal taste in games, and there's so many different kinds of amazing Star Wars games and games I have such a nostalgic connection to, but just being able to play this game on its own was absolutely incredible. This game for me just gave us everything that I wanted out of a Star Wars game. A nice challenge, beautiful cinematics, great story, great gameplay, and just a lot of fun of deep lore building, world building Star Wars. That's what I wanted out of this game, and I got it. We got a really great story with this game. I really loved Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis, the main Jedi that you follow in this game. And if you know nothing about this game, the basic premise is that you play as a Jedi Padawan, or a former Jedi Padawan, who did not complete his training, and he was separated from his master during the Jedi Purge that you see in episode 3. The iconic Order 66 from Revenge of the Sith, where Palpatine has the clone troops turn on the Jedi. It's such an impactful moment in the movie, and I really love that they incorporated that into this game. I love that that's really what it comes from. You know, you have this character who survived the Jedi Purge and is now in hiding, and you know, being able to learn his character throughout the entirety of the game, being able to see him learn and grow and finally become the Jedi he always could have been. I really love what Cameron Monaghan brought to this role. I really enjoyed the writing. All the other characters that are in this game that are introduced to us, as well as the characters from comics and books that we really hadn't had too much expansion on, like the second sister and the ninth sister, being able to see them brought from the comics into this game and actually be given a story and a backstory and a lot more rich lore behind them. I just really loved seeing the story of this game. That was the thing I was the most excited for going into this. Gameplay of course comes first when it comes to video games, but playing this game I had such an amazing time just being able to dive deep into the story and feel like I just, you know, took in a really long Star Wars cinematic story. There were so many little things with just discussing things with side characters and just being able to stand there and have conversations with them, where I would just be sitting there and watching all these conversations between characters, and I just really enjoyed being able to watch this story play out. Even the stuff that isn't part of the main story, as far as the cinematics and actually driving the story forward, there's so many little moments between characters, things that you can go and interact with that will expand their dialogue, and I just loved being able to consume each and every second of all of that. I had such a great time with this game. As far as the story goes, I have no complaints. I love the message, I love the themes, very Star Wars, very Jedi. I think that they really handled themselves really well when it came to the story of this game and giving the fans something that connected to the movies, the comics, the books, the Clone Wars, Rebels in small little ways, while also being very much its own thing. A story that I could see a lot of gamers who maybe aren't Star Wars fans can love this game for how good of a game it is, and maybe get a little bit more attached to Star Wars and be a lot more interested in expanding their knowledge in Star Wars thanks to this game. And I think it's a testament to the writing and just the story on it overall. I think they just nailed it, and that for me, that was what I was most excited for, and I think again they just nailed it. As far as the gameplay goes, if you know nothing about this game is a very serious combat technical kind of game where you need to really think out how you're going to fight people using your moves properly. If not, you are going to die often. Now there are 4 different difficulties in this game. The first one being very easy. It's incredibly forgiving. It's very much the one that's for casual video game players who just want to consume the story. And if you really don't play video games very often and you just kind of want to consume the story, I think that's easily the most fun. I tried them all out, and for me, I'm not huge on games that are hard to be hard. This game is very reminiscent of games like Dark Souls or Bloodborne and a lot of other games that I've played, where it's just meant to be very challenging. They want you to be able to die a bunch of times so you can kind of learn from those faults. So I went ahead and played the majority of the game on Jedi Knight, which is the second difficulty, which for me was challenging enough. You know, I had to plan out what I wanted to do, but I also wanted to just be able to explore and have a good time and not really worry about it being being incredibly challenging. Not to mention there isn't an achievement or anything that you really gain in the game from playing it on a harder difficulty other than you just being somebody who enjoys the really hard challenge. So for those people who enjoy Grandmaster and Jedi Master, I can totally understand. Definitely not for me. I played them a little bit. They're just super difficult. I can totally understand the appeal of that difficulty, but it's just not for me. It's not the kind of game I wanted. And for me, this was more about the story. I wanted the challenge as a gamer, which I think Jedi Knight gave me plenty of, but then being able to just kind of explore and be able to take hits and actually just kind of go on and just stare at things and look at the scenery and just kind of take in all of the outside world. That's what I was most excited about with this game, and it gave it to me. So the gameplay, nice and challenging. I think the combat is really smooth. I really enjoyed all the technical aspects, and I love as you progress through the game and you gain more abilities, all the different ways that you can really get in and out of a fight. And I really just enjoyed how technical the combat was and how much love and energy was put into that, as well as the story. As far as the graphics go, I really enjoyed the graphics. Everything looked good. However, I was playing on the Xbox, the first Xbox, and I found that sometimes it was a little grainy, and there was times where it was a little blurry, and it took a moment, and there was kind of these moments where things were kind of just like a little faded, and then they would slowly start to become more detailed, which I've noticed with some games on the Xbox, but it doesn't always happen. And in this case it did happen. But I have seen stills and other people play on stronger consoles as well as on PC, and the game looks flawless. So, you know, that's the one element that I didn't get to experience to the top of its level. However, it's a video game, and I'm not super specific about it needing to be absolutely the most amazing graphics when I'm playing it. It's more about the gameplay. So I think it looked good for what I was playing. I had a great time with the visuals and just being able to be a part of these worlds. And speaking of worlds, I really love the planets that they introduced in this game, as well as the planets that we were able to return to from Star Wars lore, Star Wars planets that have become really big within the current canon. And so being able to go to these places that are really sacred and really exciting for Star Wars fans was amazing. I won't spoil any of those right here for anybody who has not played the game yet and still looking forward to it. But on an overall level, guys, I really enjoyed this game. I thought from a graphic standpoint, from a story standpoint, from a gameplay standpoint, I had an amazing time being able to play a new single-player adventure Star Wars game. It's what I've wanted since Lucasfilm shut down LucasArts and they announced that EA was going to be publishing these games. And the first Battlefront I played a lot of, I enjoyed it. It really didn't hold a candle compared to the original Battlefront games. However, Battlefront 2, which came out afterwards, that started a little shaky, has really come up and become one of the coolest Star Wars games I think we've ever had, with all the stuff that they've added into the game for free. And I really just enjoy that game on an overall level, and it's just a fun multiplayer game to kind of go and have a good time with. But I really wanted a great single player Star Wars adventure, and they gave it to us with this game. I would say my biggest gripes with it is that the game is very glitchy at times. There was plenty of moments where I would fall through the ground and I could see the level above me, and I just keep falling until I eventually respawn. There's plenty of other times where I was running into a room and it would just completely be blank. The screen would be blank, and then things would slowly start to load. There was times where it definitely felt glitchy. I definitely fell through the floor quite a few times. It didn't happen all the time. It didn't ruin my gaming experience, but I would say my biggest gripe with the game is that it is definitely a little buggy at times, a little glitchy. There's times I'd hit people, or one time I ran on a wall and it sent me flying on the other side of the room. So it didn't happen all the time, but it did happen from time to time, and I would say that's my biggest gripe. And I think if that's my biggest gripe, you know, they can fix that in some updates. On an overall level, I really love this game. I also, like I said, got the deluxe edition, so being able to sit there and watch all the bonus content that came with the deluxe edition, you know, the behind the scenes, the making of, the cast and the music and all this kind of stuff, I really love how much love, dedication and excitement went into making this game. And if you are one of the people who created this game and you just stumble upon this review and you're watching this, thank you for making this game. Thank you for the amount of hard work you put into this and the amount of love you put into it as Star Wars fans for the rest of us Star Wars fans. This is a Star Wars story in a game I will never forget. I really enjoy it. I really can't wait to see what they do with Cal Kestis and the rest of these characters in this game, whether it's a sequel or books or comics or prequels. They could do so much with these characters, and just like Star Wars already does, there's so many storytelling beats you could tell in different timelines for these different characters, and I would love to see these characters expanded upon. I would love to see more, and I would love to see Respawn do another one of these games, or just, you know, add on to it with some sort of DLC. I think they could do a lot with this game. I really enjoyed it. I love the combat system. I'm definitely going to be running through it a little bit more to knock out a couple achievements that I didn't get around to, but I did complete everything else. I got all the collectibles, found all the echoes, found all the locations, explored everything, so all the planets are 100% done. You know, I really had a great time with this game. I was never bored, not 1 second. There were some frustrating moments with the challenge of the game, and I think that that's just going to happen, but on an overall level, that never took away from how much I was just loving the sound effects, the story, the characters, the overall combat, and just overall, it was a fun game. This is what I play video games for, is games like this. So I just have to, you know, tip my hat to Respawn and everybody who was a part of making this game. I really love what they did with the story. I really can't wait to play this game all the way through again, which is definitely going to happen. So yeah, guys, that's going to be my thoughts on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Leave me your thoughts down below. Have you played this game? Are you interested in playing this game? Did you even know this game was a thing? On an overall level, guys, this game is awesome. I highly recommend it. There's so much to explore. They gave me so much to do as both a gamer and a Star Wars fan. And it's incredibly exciting, guys. I can't wait to play this game again. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It helps the channel out. Also, consider subscribing if you guys enjoy this kinds of videos. I'm going to be doing so many more Star Wars videos leading up to the Rise of Skywalker. I hope you guys are enjoying Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, guys. Pick up your copy. Definitely play the game. I highly recommend it. This game needs more recognition. We can get more games like this. If you guys vote with your wallet, we will get more amazing Star Wars games like this rather than just multiplayer games that rely on online. We want more story-based games like this. I know I do. So if you do too, vote with your wallet. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.